Hello, and welcome to the Writing Gals Trope Talk. I'm Victorine,
I'm Michelle.
and today we're talking about the matchmaker trope. This is a really fun one. Have you ever written any matchmaker tropes?
I have written a few, yeah, and
Awesome.
they're a lot of fun. And even if it's not the whole plot is like a matchmaker situation, I do have a lot of matchmakers in my stories. So
Yes. Yeah. So I figure you can do it one of two ways. You can either make that like the main trope of the story where one of your main protagonists is a matchmaker and they're trying to make a match of the other protagonist and someone else. But of course, they're
right.
falling in love with that person. Or you
Mhm.
can just have a matchmaker somewhere in your story. And that's kind of like a lesser trope, then, if that makes
Sometimes people will tie a whole series together where the same matchmaker
Yes.
gets different couples together in every book in the series. So I've seen that a lot too.
Yes, I've seen that too.
Yeah. I was thinking about examples of matchmaker movies and things,
Yeah.
and, The Parent Trap
Oh,
is
yes.
a matchmaker trope as their twin daughters try and get their parents back together again. So they play matchmakers, and that's the entire plot of the story is them matching their parents up. And so that's an example of where the matchmaker trope is pivotal to the entire plot.
Absolutely.
And then there's Emma by Jane
Emma's a good
Austen.
one. I had that one too written down.
Yeah, where she is trying to match make everybody. So she's the classic take on it where the protagonist is the matchmaker and makes bad matches until she finally has to admit that she's in love with the guy that she's been trying to set up with someone else. So that's
Yeah.
a good one.
And
Um,
Hitch, I don't know if you've seen that. That's kind of
have
an older one, but that's a matchmaker
with
one.
Kevin James and Will Smith in it.
Mhm.
Yep, that's a good one. And then Clueless has some matchmaking um points to it. And as far as, like, K-dramas, there is one with Ji Chang-wook called Suspicious Partner,
Oh, yes.
where their, like, coworkers are trying to get them matched up together, trying to kinda set them up. And then there is Flower Crew, Joseon Marriage Agency, where it's based around a whole agency of matchmakers whose job it is to help people find their marriage partners.
Ah, fun.
And so those are some good ones to check out in this trope if you're interested in dramas. What have you written that's a matchmaking trope?
So I haven't well, yeah, I have. Okay. So I've written one called Blissfully Married, where she is the matchmaker and she falls in love with him. And I called it Blissfully Married because her like matchmaking company is called Blissfully Matched. And so, but she knows the guy, right, from the past, and she's
Yeah.
embarrassed about something of the past, so she pretends that she's engaged to somebody else. So it's a couple of tropes in that one. But
Okay.
that one was super fun to write. And then I have several that have matchmakers like not as the main plot, but as people in the book just being one of the forces that gets the two of them together.
Yeah. I think matchmaker is a good trope to add to just about any other plot trope there is. I
Yes.
like to mix it in with a lot of different things. But I did write one series where it has a lot to do with the whole entire plot of the series, a connective um thread that runs through the series, which is my young adult book, The Summer of First Kisses.
Oh, yeah.
And so at the beginning of the summer, these girls make a pact that they're going to get the girls who haven't had their first kiss yet kissed by the end of the summer. And so the kind of leader of the group is constantly playing matchmaker, trying to match all of her friends up with someone to get their first kiss
Fun.
and ends up matching herself or getting, you know, with her enemies to lovers connection. And then she is also heavily playing matchmaker um, for someone else in her book, which is number 4. And I'm trying to write number 5 with the
Ah,
couple that she was trying to match up in book 4. And I've been trying to write that for like several years. So my New Year's resolution for 2025 is to finish that freaking matchmaking book where
That's right.
they get match made. Is that how you say it in past tense? You got match made. So that's one of my projects early this year is to finish that. I'm at like 30,000 words on it, and all the other books in the series were about 40,000.
Oh,
So
you're close.
I'm so close, but
Yes. You got this. You can do it.
I can do it. I can do it. Okay. So we've talked about who the matchmakers can be, just like it can be a friend, it can be a coworker, it can be someone in the family, it can be one of the protagonists. But if it's not one of the protagonists, or even I guess if it is, they're usually like seen as like a well-meaning but kind of nosy, meddlesome kind of character. Like the characters that are being matched aren't usually wanting to be. I mean, you can have them trying to get set up with someone for like various reasons, like they have to marry somebody to, inherit their father's fortune or something like that. But typically, one of the more well known parts of this trope is that they don't want to be matched with each other for whatever reason, because we need conflict, right?
Yes.
So it requires that they have some reason why they don't want to be together, of course. And sometimes that is just like, I'm trying to match you with somebody else. But sometimes it's like, these annoying people keep forcing us together. And then you get the classic, totally embarrassing scenes. And I think it's the embarrassing moments that they get into because of these matchmakers that are one of the most enjoyable parts of this trope.
Yes. Totally. And I have one I wrote. I think it's her big fat fake dreamy ex one where the matchmaker locks them overnight together in like a tool shed.
Yeah.
That's one of those embarrassing moments where they're forced together.
Yes, or where somebody tries to call them out as being a couple in the public, so they in a way that they can't deny it, or
Mm.
or where they get forced to be together and then strategically revealed in a compromising situation to other
Yes.
people. Yeah, so I love that. I love it when characters get really, really embarrassed and get caught in compromising situations. That's probably my favorite part or aspects of a lot of matchmaker romances.
Yes.
So if they're trying to get away from each other because they don't want to be match made or matched, so what keeps pulling them back together again? Like if they're trying to get away from each other, is it just like forced proximity? Is it just what is
Yeah.
it that
I
that
think that can
pulls
be
them
one
together?
tool. It has to be something that the matchmaker is setting up for them, right? That they don't want to, but they find that they both have tickets to something and they're sitting together, or
Yeah.
yeah, something like that, where the matchmaker is just forcing them together.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting when you have, a compelling reason why the matchmaker thinks they should be together.
Yes.
The matchmaker has to have some kind of really good reason why these two people are perfect for each other. And the reader can see it too, but the two characters can't see it yet, if that's the angle
Yes.
you're pulling there. Um and so the reasons that they are good for each other is what will provide the chemistry, it will provide the attraction, it will make them have, all these moments where they bond and where they increase, the levels of intimacy between them. So that is what, kind of can help the matchmaker succeed. But it's also kind of what I mean, that can make it be boring in a way if it's too easy. Like, if the matchmaker just knew what she was doing, and so, like, obviously, once they get squished in a closet together, they're going to immediately know, "Ah, you are the one that I
Right.
should spend my life with." And so I think it's better if even if there are definite reasons why these 2 work together, there need to be so many reasons why they don't. You still
Yes.
need to have lots and lots of compelling reasons why these 2 are not a good match for each other.
So
Otherwise,
one thing I'd like
just
to pair
reason
with that is the second chance romance, because then they
Oh,
have a history and a
yes.
breakup in the past, and that definitely is a really good reason not to get back together, right?
Right, and that's like in The Parent Trap, where they were divorced for a reason.
Yeah,
The mom had a really bad temper, 'cause she was Irish, at least in the movie, the first
yeah,
movie with Maureen O'Hara. So she had, like, her Irish temper, and they just had she was English and he was from California, and they just had different ideas on things, and so you don't know a whole lot about why they weren't together until the girls get them back together, and then
yeah.
just they keep butting heads, they keep fighting, they keep, like, having all these, like, explosive moments, and you're just like, "Girls, this isn't working. Like, just give it up. These I know you love your parents and you want to have the big happy family, but it's just clearly not working with these 2." And
Yes.
then you get that moment, when they are cooking dinner together and the sparks start flying and they start reminiscing about the good times, and you start getting hints of why they were originally in love with each other, and the fact that they both still kind of have, a strong connection to the past romance. And I love the scene in the park where the mom and daughter are walking through the park before she gets her back over to um California, and she starts humming the song that was their song when they were dating, and
Yeah.
she's got a smile on her face, and you're like, "Oh, so there's still something there."
Yep.
And so I agree with you, the second chance romance plus the matchmaker trope is a really good combination.
Yeah.
So what do you do if they don't know each other at all?
Oh, well, that's also fun too, because you could do either enemies to lovers where they have this instant clash and, all of a sudden they hate each other and then they're forced together by the matchmaker. And of course they'll fall in love eventually.
Yeah.
Um,
It's pretty much just like any other romance. It's about, like, finding the reasons why am I, pulled towards this person? Why do they catch my attention? Why can't I stop thinking about them? Why does my heart race every time I'm close to them even though I don't want to? Um, and I was also gonna mention that besides like, I already talked about The Parent Trap a lot, and I didn't mean to talk about it this much, but I think, children are a really good matchmaker,
yes.
but I think I've even seen really good examples where, like, pets are matchmakers,
Ah,
where, it's I don't know, sometimes there's, like, a magical realism kinda thing where, like, the animal is, like, cognizant of what they're doing, and then sometimes, the animal is just sort of like a device that keeps kind of pulling them together into these situations. So the matchmaker role can take on a lot of different forms, but it's really fun to play with. And if you're interested in um, writing a matchmaker, but it seems like really kind of cliche or something like that, just remember the matchmaker is totally open to whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be the nosy neighbor lady. It doesn't have to be their child. You can make it just about anybody
hmm
that you can imagine and give it a fresh twist. So, and that's what tropes are all about. Like, give the reader what they want in the trope, but do it in an interesting new way. So,
yes. And if you're writing a romance and you're having trouble finding a reason why they're put in the same place, just pull in a matchmaker, right? That's an easier way to
yes.
force them together. And it's an outside person doing it rather them saying, oh, yeah, let's go here together or let's be here together.
It sounds like we need to talk about forced proximity.
I think we do. Maybe we should do that next week. What do you think?
That's a great idea. Let's do
All
that.
right, let's do it.
And in the meantime, be sure if you haven't watched all the trip videos, we have quite a few that we've done now. I've lost track. We should count
Yeah.
them. I think I might go through and make a playlist of all of
Yeah,
our
that's a
trip
good
videos.
idea.
And then be sure and check out our academy, the Writing Gals Academy, which you can find if you join our Writing Gals group and in the link
And I'll put a
down
link below.
below. and it's $9.95 a month, and you get all access to almost 80 classes now, getting close to
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot of classes in there.
And so you can just take it by month and go through the whole library, and we're gonna be constantly adding to it as time goes on, so there will be, lots of new content coming in there. And we're super excited for this, coming year. Are you? I'm
Yes,
so
so
excited.
excited.
I think this is airing on New Year's Eve, right? That's
I don't know.
Yes, yes, it is. It's going live tomorrow, and that's New Year's Eve, so
No, we have another one going live tomorrow. It's
oh,
rescheduled.
well,
But the week after.
hey, that means you're in the new year. So happy
That's
new
right.
year, everybody. And we'll keep bringing you new tropes and a lot of new content in the writing gals to help you
Yes.
with all of your author goals this year.
Yes. It'll be awesome. Join us at the Writing Gals on Facebook if you aren't in our group, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Bye.